we go. All right. Anyway, so we are here in downtown Kaznia City. Once you load into this area, you're going to start over here near the Lapping Hound. There's the Kaznian Merchant. And here is the Community Help Wanted board, where you pick up the assignment to fight Neron. Because, of course, fighting a major demonic entity is one of those things that you want to outsource to the same people that you are asking if they want a free kitten. There's no explanation for it, but here we are, and there it is. So, before we go through the rest of the stuff here and get to the actual bounties themselves, we're going to go ahead and show you where they're all actually located at, because they are spread out quite a bit in Kaznia City. Our first one over here is Atana,
Felix Faust,
Mistress of Magic. She's one of the dailies.
The people of Kaznia City are their targets.
And she's going to give us her daily assignment. We'll come back and do that one here in a moment. We're going to go over here to the castle for a moment, which has strong Disney Channel stronghold vibes. Like, we should go in there and find at least one princess with her hair hanging out of a window and another one making enchanted snowmen do fucked up things. But over here in the little village in front of the castle is Etrigan. Etrigan. An actual demonic entity who fights for the heroes and who is less than a football field of distance away from the major demon that they are outsourcing the combat of to random strangers from a different fucking nation. God bless Eastern Bloc Europe, folks. All right, let's go collect the rest of the bounties right quick. There's just a couple more of them that we got to grab. There's it's rather. Oh no, that's the Reckoning's hideout. Oops, I went the wrong way. It's fine. It's fine. So we're not going to the Reckoning's hideout because what the heckening's happening with the Reckoning? I don't know. Fuck Jerry Seinfeld. Now, this is the Battle of the Damned bounty location. This is one of our weeklies. We're going to come back to it kind of towards the end of things. But this is going to be one of the higher yield bounties in the area, and it has a shitload of feats associated with it, so familiarize yourself with this. There's something else unique you can do here in this area that you can't do in a lot of other areas. If you talk to the Infernal Wisp, or the Deathly Wisp, either one, they will give you access to a special form. Now, the special form does two things. First off, the special form does allow you to go into the lake battle and get certain feats by killing certain factions with the appropriate form, you know.
Being dead is annoying.
The other thing it allows you to do, if your character's not super well developed or super built out yet,
you do something about that? Thanks.
it basically shortcuts you to a point where you are. All of those things, attacks, rock absolute socks. They are very well balanced and very well built. So, worth trying out. You could take one, drive it around, do anything you want to in the area is the other part of the conversation. So if you want to grab it, beat the fuck out of Grundy, go fight Neron, you can do any of that shit.
That damn wizard turned the giant
Speaking of Grundy, this is where you collect the Grundy bounty. He's one of our other weeklies. He's going to be our third big bounty. And then there's Deadman. We'll go ahead and collect that. That's our last daily. Now, normally I would do the dailies first, but Battle of the Dam just start, so we're gonna go ahead and just knock it out while we're here. So that frozen island in the middle of the frozen lake that was unpopulated a second ago now has a horde of fucking undead demons and other fun shit on it. Let's there was a comma between the undead and the demons. I mean, I'm sure they're... Well, actually, I'm not sure if there are undead demons. I'm not sure demons necessarily... That's a good question. But yeah, so Battle of the Damned, and anything that I'm doing here right now, I'll go ahead and link to one of the other videos that demonstrates the actual mechanics once we get it over onto the YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on Twitch, which I'm pretty sure you're not, but who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of days. But yeah, if you're watching this on Twitch, go check out the YouTube channel. That's where all the actual explanations are at. This is just me showing you where shit is at and showing you roughly how long it takes to walk through the situation. So now, something I would like to point out here, you're going to want an AoE friendly build. You're going to want something that has at least a bit of mitigation. It doesn't have to be super top end. This is probably going to be the first thing you can solo in the area, if I'm being honest, but you're still going to need a little beef in your burrito to get that done. As you can see, this is a timed bounty. This is the only timed bounty in the area now. It's not like the old days where everything's a fucking timed bounty and you need to kill 150 of these guys and then go fight Solomon Grundy in 50 seconds or some shit like that. No. So this bounty is a lot closer to being like Tumblr's grade for a timed bounty, or for a timed mass execution bounty, I should say, than it is to being like you know, like the refugee evac, or you know, freeing the Red Lantern prisoners, where it's like it is complicated. You definitely need multiple players to do more than one section of it at a time, or you know. And this one is pretty, again, easy. You just come in here, you fight 150 of the undead, you fight 150 of Faust's minions. Each of the little guys is worth 1 point apiece towards your overall goal, and each of the bigger, scarier looking dudes is essentially worth 10. So once you got that completed, you can do what I did and just turn invisible and run the fuck away.
Bravo! Well done indeed.
There we go.
If you'll excuse me, I have some eternal rest.
Thank you. Okay, well, you know, she's happy that we helped her out. All right. I'm happy that we helped her out too. It was worth a shitload of source marks. All right, so let's go ahead and do our dailies before we get over to Grundy and Neron. You know what? First one's in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and do the graveyard right now. So this one is pretty simple. Basically, you're gonna pick fights with the various and sundry undead things in the graveyard, and once those things are sufficiently swamped to be relatively tractable, you're just going to come over here and give them all a hug. Boom, boom, boom.
Once again.
I just realized I don't have my healing mechanism on, which I should probably put back on before I go fart. go fight fucking Beavis and Butthead here in a moment. It's like, yeah, you want to see an embarrassingly short fight? Watch me go fight these two assholes with fucking no fucking healing equipped. Fucking. Well, I hear an exobyte. Where you at, buddy? It's right between the trees. Now we're gonna stay back from Solomon for a moment because we really don't want to mess with him. But I am going to show you guys something else. This is actually a feat I'm still working on. Do you want to build a snowman? I think the answer is no, man. Just kill 100 of them, and you get feat points. I'm not even sure if that's the last one, but there's at least one feat for destroying snowmen in this area. Fly around, find them, turn them into slush. Alright, let's go ahead and bomb these guys. And the snowmen are targetable, so even if you're fighting something else, you can still occasionally take the snowmen out. Accidentally, you know. I think that's really the best way of putting it. I wasn't trying to destroy the snowman there. It just kind of happened. It was like, hey, you got a free snowman. What'd you do? It's like, oh yeah, I blew that thing up. It's like, oh yeah, no, there's a bounty on his head. It's like, you know that's a fucking snowman, right? Yeah, those things are dangerous. No, that one is not. I guarantee you. Like, the only time that could be dangerous is if like somebody builds it around a fire hydrant. Your dumbass tries to drive through it. Which, at that point in time, you get what you deserve, man. It's like, I'm gonna kill this snowman. He's cool to it, guy. Boom.
I was just so angry.
$20,000 later. What did you learn? Nothing. Okay. That's why I hate people. Okay. So, I am one of those parents that loves all of my children equally. I'm also one of those parents whose child is a cat. So, I'm sure I would have a different opinion if I had actual children, but I don't. I'm okay with that. Well, I don't that I'm aware of. I think I would be less okay if I... Yeah. We're not going to have that talk. You guys don't need to see my ID. There we go. I had a weird fucking knife one point. That. But yeah, kill those guys. That is our next goal. Still hearing the fucking exobyte. Maybe I'm hallucinating, I don't know. Anyway, we're not worried about that one. We're worried about our next stop. So we're going to go do People of Kaznia, and that's the one in the village where Zatanna was at. And we're just going to kind of do all these, and then we're going to go through and just collect them all at the end. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is kind of a pain in the ass to do. And it's mostly just because the bounties themselves are so far spread out. But it does a very good job of introducing you to the area and kind of helping you develop an awareness of where things are actually, you know. And I think spatial awareness is one of those things that some of our player base is kind of missing for the game. You know. Not that I'm not pointing fingers and naming names. If you spend all your time doing alerts and raids, you don't need to know where shit's at in the village.
I think these cultists are behind the killings.
Period. It doesn't matter. You're not doing that stuff. It does not matter. But on the occasions where you have shit to do in the village, it is nice to know where things are at. It's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I work remotely, and I just go and I do things, and then I come, okay. How do you get to the store, bro?
I heard about you from Voivode.
That's a good question. I don't know. I guess I'm using kind of an archaic definition of remote work. Like, nowadays it means, like, log in from your computer and hit up the VPN, and now you're connected, and you can do all your stuff. And,
I heard about you from Voivode. She said you
I used to work for a hotel, and at that point in conversation, working remotely meant that people were coming to my hotel and spending 2 weeks of their life there building a fucking pipeline or other crazy shit like that. So, such is life. All right, so let us move on to the next step, and we're going to do finally demonic influence, which is. And that's going to be up here in the castle. That's going to be the mission that we got from Etrigan. And we're just going to come over here and fly around inside a little village outside the castle and kill everything that's not us. Kind of an antisocial way of looking at things. It definitely makes you question the morality of being a hero. It's like, I'm a hero. It's like, you're killing all these guys, right? It's like, well, I'm sending them back to hell. It's like, oh, even better.
I was going to help.
I mean, yes, obviously they can't chill out on the lawn here, but have you thought about talking to them first,
These guys jumping.
Oh, it is super heroic to kill things and send them to hell. Doesn't sound like, it sounds like there might be a moral or ethical gray area that's not being discussed appropriately, so. We're not, again, ours is not to bake that pie. Ours is but to kill that guy. And in defense of the idea that they might need to get off the fucking lawn, there's a guy tied up there. He probably doesn't want to be tied up there, so there's probably at least a, like there's some gray area, but not all of it's gray area. All right. I think the reason why I'm kind of like reviewing that tonight, over here on the other television, which I don't know if you guys can hear because my PlayStation mic is not as good as my headset mic, but over here on the television, we are watching the original Netflix Daredevil, which was really fucking well made. That's the reason why. Well, plus the new one comes out here soon, so I'm refamiliarizing myself with the original work, as it were. All right, we're 20 minutes in. We've already done one of our major bounties, 3 of our dailies, and we're going to fuck up Neron. Now, Neron is a Tier 7 bounty, so he's not a pushover. He does have a tremendous amount of area of effect attacks. He fights out of 2-hand, which does mean that he's counter-vulnerable, but he's also incredibly damaging. And between some of his zoning and things like that, you don't want to focus on that part of the fight. You kind of want to maintain your mobility instead of just the block and counter game like you would with Shadow Golem or Onamar Sid, for example. Um, that being said, you also want to build for a combination of mitigation and healing because most of its attacks aren't going to kill you outright, but 2 or 3 of them will very quickly. So this is not an early starting place on the bounty train. He's not the top of that pyramid, but he ain't down there in the ham and egg ranks either. This guy is a solid mid carder at the very least. So, all right, well, let's see if I can take him out solo without having to call on anybody. This is not the first time that I've beaten him solo, but I haven't used the might build here quite as often as I've used other things for this battle. Let me get my story adjusted a little bit. Boom. Just gonna whip out that Bizarro style fire breath on us. That's an attack that I wish we had. Fuck it. That might have to be like a proposal that I make to the developers at some point in conversation. Not that they have any real, reason to listen to my opinion or anything like that. I know I'm not, I am not the big cheese of King Shit Mountain or anything of that nature, but I have pointed out like 50 bugs throughout the course of the time that I've been here, but my point being that I think it would be cool to have a fucking one of the augments be an inversion item that allows you to access Bizarro's powers instead of the Kryptonian version. So you could have the freezing vision and fucking fire breath. And I want the fire breath just for my fire tank. That's literally the only reason why. I know that's crazy, but it would be so cool. But I can admit that that's a selfish ask. It's the other part of that. He wants me to go to hell, but I'm already there. Okay. But yeah, as you can see, the point of this fight is to basically respond to his telegraphs and take out the ads that he summons. You should be mostly fine. His big telegraphs are going to be that cone zone, obviously. That's a big one. He says something before literally everything he does, the other part. You'll kind of develop an understanding of what shit talking is a tell for what attack it's about to come up. But, and the other one, that big punch onto the ground where he has that fire coming up immediately afterwards. That will pretty much one shot. You do need to get the fuck out of the way. I guess if you're using channel build here, either make it mobile channel or just get used to dodge rolling. Moves like fucking Starbolt, Oak Wave, both. Oh god, do they pay bills here. I mean, aside from the fact that they're both, objectively speaking, just great supercharged developers. Oh. He's like, I'm going to set you on fire. Ha 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 ha. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get out of the way, bitch. That's me talking to herself. I'm not calling anybody else a bitch, but I'm calling myself a bitch, really. I guess I'm the one that's doing it. And in a fight like these, if you're using the Hope Healing Zone, don't get married to standing in it. It's there. You can go through it. The other part of that conversation is it'll heal your pets. Oh, bitch. There we go. All right. So, Neron, let's see if I can go 2 for 2. Solomon Grundy is a different fight. I don't really have a vote for which one's harder or which one's easier, is the other part. They both have their own challenges. Solomon isn't quite as ad-friendly. It doesn't rely quite as much on his ability attacks, but his physical damage outlay is just stunning. Like, you have to stay away from it. It is bad for your health, 100% of the way around. So, yeah, man, who knew that being punched by a zombie that was 9 feet tall that weighs 1,000 pounds would suck? One thing that Solomon has that really kind of does differentiate the two fights, he's gonna stun you a lot more often than Neron will. Like Neron will, like, I don't think he has like an actual hard stun. He does have that pull, which does interrupt what he's doing, but like you get control of yourself back like a second later. But Grundy, no, you're gonna be keeping an eye on them damn hands coming up out of the ground non-stop, and you need to move when that happens because bad shit will happen to you. Again, Grundy is kind of like Neron in that he doesn't have any like no true one-shots, but he has a lot of stuff that adds up very quickly, you know. Also, he doesn't summon his ads all at the same time like Neron does, but he can potentially end up with a lot more of them. So you do want to keep an eye on them as you're going through this part of the fight. Alright, Thorn, get out of the way. Burn, zap, zap, zappy. I'm gonna get Zoom out here to do some work. There we go. Okay, boom. It's gonna kind of suck. And, I mean, the majority of this fight is just making sure you're not there when he does certain things. And if you're playing a controller type, just make sure you have a pet and make sure you're using your aggro drop. Because that's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting by itself. Like, just keeping him off your ass while you're chewing through all fucking I have no idea how many millions of hit points he has, but I know it's a lot because I do about 1 million every time I use fucking Terrorize, and I do like... Oh god, let's count. So combo start. So there's usually about 1 million there. Boom. Luminous Beam, that's another mill. This is like Terrorize is about 800k if it all crits. And it gets beefier towards the bottom of his health, you know. He's down at that 35% mark. But yeah, so there's 400k. Oh, too far away with that one. That one's, man. All the stuff that normally does beefy shit when it crits is just like, I'm not critting right now. Yeah, well, probably because I've got the safe bet stuff on instead of the Candle B run. Don't get me wrong. Mystic Symbol of the 7 pays bills. The bills that it pays, it is very good at paying, so you want it to pay those bills. Okay. Zap. And the same thing kind of applies in the Grundy fight as it did in the Neuron fight. Like, if you use something like the Circle of Protection, or you're using this, or you're using Constantine, you know, something that has a limited zone of effect, don't be afraid to move out of that zone here and there, just so you don't get whomped. I don't know if he's constipated or like he's got that dead guy diarrhea going on. Cooked it for too long. So, yeah, as you can see, Omega still doesn't work 100% of the way as it should. I mean, it works as well as it did. There's not. I'm not somebody else who's going to lie to you about it being nerfed. There we go. But that being said, it's still buggier than bad shit, so take that as you will. Alright, so let's go ahead and collect some stuff. We got Mayor Coloron. He's going to give us one of our bounties. Dead Man. Boom. He's like, alright, here's some awesome stuff for you guys. Thank you. Go back up to the castle here in a moment, talk to Etrigan. And this is the Lady Kaznia. We already got our stuff from her.
Demonic plans were made undone. Thanks to you, this battle's won.
You're the big, beefy demon guy. Why didn't you kick his ass? Now, why? He doesn't have an answer for that. So. That is Archdemon for eat a dick. Okay. Okay. I think we're back over here in this section of the village. Oh crap, where'd you go? The only thing I don't like about this area is trying to figure everything out at the end, because it's like, it makes me feel stupid. It's like, okay, I was here and there was stuff here nearby. Where am I going and what am I doing? Oh, god damn it. Okay. No, that is definitely not it. You know what? Why aren't we using our resources? So anytime you run into a situation like this, go pick the mission you're actually working on, select it, and it will tell you where to go. Because I keep forgetting there's like four sections of Kaznia City. All right. So,
Nice
how you
I
doing?
know
Thank
Faust,
you.
and I do, unfortunately. He's seething up a storm.
Awesome. And then finally,
Poor
that
baby.
community post board that we somehow trusted somebody was going to actually provide us with a reward after. It's not the same thing as, like, calling somebody about a missing cat or something like that, Like, hey, what's going on? Where's my cat? And it's like, we don't know, dude, but we fought the demon lord. Who's got the dollars for that, man? Sound goes silent. Oh, I need to. Yeah. Sorry, I'm dicking around. I'm doing maintenance-oriented shit that I should have taken care of earlier because my inventory management skills are terrible. I'm sorry. My apologies. All right. But yeah, there we go. That, in a nutshell, is Kaznia City. If you come here, you can probably do it all solo in under 40 minutes, even with me talking to you through it all, as long as you're built up to do it. The other part of that conversation is this is, again, new content. Lots of bounties here and lots of very quick hitter bounties for a group, so bounty trains still come through here. Plenty of feats. Come get your feats. All right. But yep, good fight. Good night.